Okay, so you know your entire syllabus, you're pretty much prepared for your exams, your revision notes are also ready. But the thing is, you're still not able to score good marks, or you do not know how to write, what exactly to write for your exam to ensure that you score really good marks. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you are supposed to plan your next 3 hours for writing the exam, and how are you actually supposed to write your exam sheet so that you will be scoring really good marks. Hi there everybody, my name is Shreyas. Timestamps for this video is right over here on the screen and in the description. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now here's the thing, right? All of this starts before you even write your exam. So when you start writing your revision notes, make a practice of writing your notes, a few of them on A4 size sheet and a few of them on ruled paper. The reason why you're doing this is because at most of the cases, especially when you're in your semester exams, you just do not know what kind of an exam sheet are you gonna get. Like a lot of times this happened to me where I was in my college and while writing an exam, I just realized, okay, wait, this is supposed to be written on ruled paper, or in another exam, it was supposed to be written on an A4 size sheet paper, and I though wasn't acclimatized to write on an A4 size sheet paper. So when you're writing your revision notes, write on both A4 and ruled paper, so you are prepared to write neatly and tidily on any kind of paper. Now that this is done, let's talk about what exactly are you supposed to do in your answer sheet. The first thing that you're supposed to remember while you're going to write your examination papers is you got to put yourself in the shoes of the examiner or the invigilator. At the end of the day, he or she is the person who's going to correct your paper, who's going to give you those marks. So we got to make sure that the way we write the paper needs to be best suited for that particular person, which means first things first, your answer sheet, right, whatever you're writing, you need to write them very neat. Second of all, you gotta put borders with every answer that you complete. Third of all, you gotta underline all the important points in that particular answer. Doing this, you're conveying your invigilator that you empathize with your invigilator and you care for that person because you've been writing the exam very neat, and that also gives the invigilator a confidence that you know what you're writing. So even though you did not give in your 100% with that particular answer, you're still gonna get relatively really good marks because of the way you've written. That is, underlining the important sentence, giving borders after every answer, and generally having a neat handwriting. Another important thing that you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use a ball pen or a waterproof pen, because you never know where these papers are going, how they're getting transferred, right? Of course, your organization is gonna ensure they are extremely safe, but at the end of the day, you gotta ensure that whichever pen you're writing, you gotta write with the highest quality pen that's available. We do not want any chance that's left out for the invigilator to be like,
wait, maybe there's a few stains on the paper. Wait, you know what? I cannot understand this because of the way he's written or she's written.
So let's choose the best of the pens, that's either a ball or a waterproof gel, because whenever you write in these kinds of pens, it is relatively easier to read rather than an ink pen or a stick pen. So yeah, choose the right pen as well. For a lot of questions, the general rule for you to ensure that you get really good marks is you first give the definition, then you give the syntax or you give the formula or you give the equation, and then you give an example of the same. Particularly for your subject, go to your teacher and ask your teacher how are you exactly supposed to write the answer. But if I have to tell you generally, like if I have to generalize, for every question you're supposed to answer in this particular way. Another thing, of course, that you're supposed to do is go to your teacher and ask your teacher, how am I exactly supposed to write the paper, to ensure that it gets very easy for the invigilator to correct your paper. Now at the end of the day, guys, you gotta understand that invigilator needs to correct close to 2,000 to 3,000 papers, right? They will definitely be in a hurry and they will definitely be stressed. At the end of the day, they are humans as well. So our job as a student is to make it easier for them. So they have this goodwill by default, even when they open the paper, that even if you made a small mistake or you're grammatically wrong somewhere, there's like chotu mistakes, invigilator will probably spare you and give that extra marks, because at the end of the day, again, they are humans, and we need to ensure that when they are correcting our paper, they need to be at least, if not very happy, they need to be calm. And to ensure that they are calm, we got to follow these rules while we write a paper, because even if they previously corrected a very shitty paper, they're gonna feel very calm after looking at our paper because we followed these many rules that I just put out. These rules makes our answer sheet very neat and very calm and very representable and very topperish, if I have to say that. Now coming to managing your time for your exam, first thing that you're supposed to do is when the examination starts, dedicate the first 15 minutes into looking at the question paper, looking at the questions and making a map in your head about all the questions you know, the questions that you kind of know and the questions that you do not know. You start off by writing the answers to the questions that you completely and properly know. You're doing this because first of all, you're just starting off writing the answer sheet and you'd want to be very confident, right? So if you want to bring in that confidence inside of you, you start off with writing answers that you already know. know. This makes you confident. Second of all, because you already know these answers, you're gonna be very, very quick in writing them. That way you're gonna get guaranteed marks and you're going to finish writing those answers very quick, which means you'll have time to figure out the answers for the questions that you kind of know or you do not know. You never, I repeat, you never start with writing the answers to the questions that you do not know, because those are more like 50%, 50-50 chances of you getting those marks. But for the answers you already know properly, when you're writing them, it's guaranteed, right? You're going to definitely get those marks. So finish those first, then you move to the questions that you kind of know, and then you move on to the questions that you just do not know. And even if you do not know, there's no time left and you do not know, it's completely fine, right? Because you anyway wouldn't be getting those marks. So you might as well do that in the last. You're not supposed to do it in the beginning. You're not supposed to write those in the beginning. You're supposed to write those after you're done with everything you know. Another thing is, if you're stuck in between any question, don't give it more than 2 minutes of time to think. So if you aren't writing, and if you've removed your pen, you're thinking for 2 minutes, more than 2 minutes, move on to the next question, because you're stalling yourself from answering the other questions as well. So you'd rather give some space in the answer sheet. You'd rather come back to this question after a while instead of wasting the entire time in that particular question and later on panicking that, there's less time left and I have to write everything in a hurry. So instead, if it's taking you more than 2 minutes of time to think for that particular answer, for that particular question, move on to the next one. Give some space, get back to that after you finish writing all the answers that you know. Another thing that you're supposed to remember is, regardless of how the question paper is present in front of you, always go with the hierarchy of big marks first or small marks last, which means, say the biggest marks that a question gives you 7, there's a 7 marker question, finish those first, then move on to 5 markers, then move on to 3 markers, then move on to 2 markers. We got to finish those questions that give us the biggest of the biggest marks first, and then slowly move on to the ones that give you less marks or aren't really that important to you. And again, for this particular strategy, ask your teachers if it's completely fine if you go this particular strategy for your particular exam. For the most part, it is completely fine. For all of my exams, that's exactly what I do. I start with 7 markers, then move to 5 markers, 3 markers, and then 2 markers. For a few exams when this wasn't allowed, as in you cannot start with 5 markers or 7 markers, what I used to do is, I used to leave 2 pages or 3 pages just for the 2 markers, and then I used to start with 5 markers and then 3 markers, and then come back to the first 3 pages, complete the 2 markers. So again, ask your teacher if you can do this for your particular exam, and if you can, start with 7, 5, 3, 2, and so on. So that's the hierarchy you're supposed to go ahead with your question paper. By doing this, you are gonna ensure that you are gonna score really, really, really good marks, and you've left nothing for the invigilator also to probably remove marks from your hand. And yeah, you will be scoring really good marks. You can thank me later, and I'm gonna say right here, right now, you're welcome. So you have an amazing day, and go study for exams and be prepared, y'all. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, like the video, share the video to your friends, so both of you or the 3 of you or the entire gang can together score amazing marks. This is me, Shreyas, signing off. I'm gonna see you in another video. Chalo, bye.